Well, nice to meet you, everyone. Excited to be in New York. I used to live in New York for about 9 years before I moved to San Francisco 6 months before the pandemic, and it's always great to be back in the city. So just a little bit about myself. I used to work as a software engineer, data scientist, product manager, and I started a company called Concord Systems where we were processing large volumes of data in real time, mostly financial market data, sensor data coming from IoT devices, and also real-time bidding data from advertising systems. And this product that we built called Concord, we sold that company to Akamai Technologies, and now it's an IoT platform as a service product at Akamai called IoT Edge Connect. And with Akamai, I started working with a lot of global automotive manufacturers and consumer electronics companies. And it became very clear to me that companies are not going to stop anytime soon with their desire to collect more data more often. And cloud providers are just allowing them to make that happen more quickly. And the next challenge of problems in data is starting to emerge as more companies are waking up to the fact that you now have hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands of data sets that you have to manage. That's not just coming from your apps and websites, but also from all the SaaS apps and Google Sheets and different places that people are munging and changing and utilizing data on. So here are three main market trends that we are seeing that how companies are using data. First and foremost, a lot of companies are starting to adopt cloud data warehouses and data lake to be the single source of truth where you're basically plugging all your raw data into one system. This allows you to be able to actually run 360 analysis of your customer. You can join data from your Salesforce to the product and also link it to the customer ticket support. And that's really amazing, but it also means that you have a lot more data to manage. On top of this, today a lot of companies actually run their analysis divided by different divisions. Each division has their own analyst teams, whereas in the past, it might have been more of a centralized data team that also manages the database, data models, as well as all the dashboards. But now that's starting to become more decentralized. And last but not least, business stakeholders that you have in the company have more or less direct access to the data today through the tools like Tableau, Looker, and other BI tools, so that they are not just waiting for the email report to come in, but they can actually log in and slice and dice the data themselves. So all these market trends combined makes what we call data discovery very painful, not just for the data team, but for everyone inside the company. So beyond your data teams, like people like product managers, general managers, or customer ops people, they will starting to ask questions like, where did this data actually come from? How did we calculate this metric? And if I am looking for customers in this region, where can I find this data? And that's the core of the problem that we are trying to solve at Select Star, because today, everyone is spending a lot of time, or what we would call it as wasting time. Just people pinging one-to-one messages to their favorite analysts. They would post the same question on the Slack channel, but maybe slightly different or worded differently, so they couldn't find the answer in the past. A lot of technical users and data analysts and engineers also ending up spending a lot of time just searching through different SQL queries and trying to find like how this table was created, for example. And the way that we try to solve this problem is really to create an automated data analysis on top of your metadata and query history and activity logs. So just overall metadata and your logs. The way that we look at data discovery, it is really about providing you as much context of that data as possible. And the way that we do this is by connecting directly to your data warehouses, BI tool, bring out the metadata, and start crunching through the analysis of how how your data is currently being consumed in your organization. So a lot of the built-in metadata analytics that we provide include things like data lineage of where is the data coming from and where is it going to. Popularity metrics like who's using what data, which are the data sets that are being used the most in particular teams or by a user. And also, what are the types of data that are not being used anymore that you might want to deprecate. And we're trying to make this very easy to use interface so that data team can initially set it up, but they can also give access to citizen data analysts or product managers or anyone else that are interested in learning more about data and the context behind it. And it is a cloud platform. We try to make sure that we are very secure. So we've gone through now two separate years of SOC 2 Type 2 audit. Plus, we by default, we only try to work with metadata. So we would not overall look at any of your data values in the system by default. So just a little bit about how it works underneath. So we will connect directly to your data warehouses and BI tools, pull out the metadata, query logs, activity logs. We have a unified metadata store so that all your dashboards are in the same place and all your tables are in the same place. And our query parser will start generating the popularity model and data lineage model. And on top of this, we allow you to create documentation, metrics, workflows, and different ways how you want to personalize it so that you can cater giving access of Select Star to other users in the platform. And all of this, what I would call kind of a centralized metadata and the context, so including auto-generated popularity, lineage, as well as any documentation that you have entered in Select Star. Those are all available to be pulled out through our API. So our REST API provides you a way to programmatically read and write all these context of your data. So where we are really trying to go to is to provide more of a centralized place that you can share with everyone in the company for them to be able to find and understand data that they have access to. They should be able to put documentation or comments about what that data sets should look like or how it's connected to the domain model. And they should be also able to ask questions or look for answers that they might have. And last but not least, giving the control to the data team to be able to govern the data. So with that, I will do a live demo. Okay, can you guys see my screen? So this is our main UI. This is something that users get to see when they first log into Select Star. You can see I have favorites, tags, docs, as well as all the data sources that I've connected here. So one of the best part about Select Star that all of our customers always talk about is our search. So if I were to type any keyword, Select Star will return the results all across my data sources, as well as my documentation and metrics. And because we use the notion of popularity, we will use that to rank your search results. So we look at the relevancy of keyword matching, as well as the popularity of that data set to give you the full result. And generally, what we hear a lot is that you find what you're looking for much faster than any other platform that users have used before. So going into the table, so here this is the part that where we are trying to give you as much context as possible. So on the right-hand side, you can see some of the descriptions that we've added. Here, these are some of the automated operational metadata that you can see. So like when was this last updated or last refreshed? I'm gonna make it just a little bit bigger. You can see how big is the table, and also you can see some documentation that this is mentioned by. Whenever you create a more of a rich text documentation, you can mention any of your data objects, and we will create a backlink automatically so that any of the knowledge base that you're sharing, you can always refer to the same document without having to worry about updating links in different places. So going back to the tables, we will show, like, I'll just walk through some of the tabs. So you can see all the columns, also primarily ordered by popularity. We also provide the lineage, so that's upstream versus downstream. Downstream dashboards show you all the, let me see if I can load this. Okay, my live demo failed here. But this is like where we show kind of the impact of how the dashboards would look like. And in the lineage table view or lineage graph view, which is what we call Explorer, this is a place where you can see a full lineage of where your data is going to. And we do also provide the column level lineage so that you can click on the table and actually navigate through the columns. So let's see if we can show that off. So here you can see, like I can see just on the order ID perspective, these are all the places where this column is being used. Same with order status. If I want to navigate through how this actually results in different BI systems, I can also use this navigation place to basically open up the Looker dashboard and the Explorers and dive into the actual tables and columns that it's coming from. So providing an end-to-end lineage for all the data sources that you have connected is some of the things that we work on every single integration that we have. And everything here, you can also get it as a REST API endpoint as well. This is a very simple use case, but we work with a lot of customers that has tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of tables. And a lot of those cases, what we usually also recommend is having them to see a good overview of your full database. So this is like a database page where you can see all your tables ordered by popularity, and you can also see mainly what the dependencies may look like, how many dashboards or other tables are on the downstream, or where is the source actually coming from. With that, I guess I have a couple more minutes. Another feature that I will show off is user-based analytics. So we look at also how your users and teams are using the data. So I can go into anyone's like profile page and then kind of understand what type of queries they ran in the past or what they use the most, as well as what they have created in the past. This is also searchable and available as a team level. So if I were to, I think I was looking for an engineering team, which has more members. So you can see kind of like the list of team members, what they query the most, and kind of like the tables or dashboards that they own. So it's really kind of coming into us providing a lot of this information automatically. A lot of the parts that I just showed you happens within 24 hours of you connecting your database. And setting up also is by creating just a service account. So usually the setup takes 15 minutes. And I would say this is just more of the fast time to value is really the motto that we're trying to achieve for all of our customers. Okay, so, oh, actually I totally forgot about this. So I actually had a couple of screenshots. I think I've also went through this a little bit, but we actually have one new feature that we released just a couple weeks ago called ER diagram. So one of the things that we noticed from observing our users is that they have data models and different diagrams that they've created when they first created the data model, but these things don't get updated. Or you have primary keys and foreign keys that are defined in your production databases, but they weren't translated into your data warehouses. So this is basically one part that we realized something that we could really help, and that's why we created the ER diagram feature. So here, what you can see is how the data model is connected, and this all really happens based on joins that we have observed from your query history. So combining both lineage and also joins that we see, we're starting to add more features like this, as well as like automating either description propagation or tag propagation. And I guess a lot of it is still in the works, but you can see kind of like where we are heading. Okay, looks like I'm out of time. I have one more slide. So I just wanted to mention that these are some of the customers we work with today. A lot of our customers have a very data-rich applications in their respective industries. And it's really exciting to help these companies to achieve data discovery and really allow self-service analytics in their companies. So we are happy to chat, and also would love to help any of you with SelectStar. Thank you.
Cool, thank you very much. That's great. Yeah, some question like when did you start? Any sense for where the company is in terms of, I don't know, number of people, rents of financing, customers, anything you can talk about?
Yeah, I also started this company during the pandemic. My incorporation date is in March 2020. And then also, hence, it is, we are also a fully remote team. Our team is distributed between US, Canada, and Europe today. Yeah.
Very good. I want to open up to questions that will run as well. Oh, all the way back. All right.
Great presentation. Thank you. You know, I've noticed in customers where I've been a consultant that there's great data catalogs out there, Elation, Calibra, and all that. But when you actually speak to a business user, they have no idea what you're talking about. Could you just, I mean, I would imagine that business users would also use your platform, or how would you describe your user base?
So our current main user base, so I think the question is how would I describe our user base, and will business users be able to use SelectStar? So today, majority of our user base, I would say about 65 to 70% are data analysts and data engineers. At the same time, we are designing this tool so that business users can also easily utilize the tool. And I would say we are kind of continuing to working on that. One thing that we notice, and something that we recommend, and how we work together with a lot of our customers, is that initially it's the data team that needs to verify that these are the right data sets, or make sure there are some documentation in, so that when your business stakeholders sees the data model for the first time, they are not getting confused, or they actually understand what it actually means. So I would say just overall, some of the business users that actually currently use SelectStar, they are using it primarily because they got trained in the tool of Looker, Tableau, or Power BI, any of these tools. But when they are actually looking into slicing and dicing the data, or trying to make a query in Looker Explorer, they get very confused by all the fields that they are facing with. And because we will tell you which are the fields that are being used the most within the company, which are the fields that are being used for filters, pivots, or are actually being used as a metric, it helps the business users to also be able to learn about, and also being able to like try out the BI tool. So that's kind of like where we are. Eventually, we do want to support more of connecting the business domain level documentation along with the technical documentation as well.
Where do you think this whole space is going? I guess like data catalog and then governance, and like ultimately, do you have like one platform that does like all the things for, you know, I mean, market and the enterprise, or do you have like several vendors doing different things, partnering together?
I actually think data catalog is a very overused term, and also a feature that's available for every modern data tools. Like every data quality or observability tools have a catalog. But catalog really is your schema like map plus search. So if you were to just bring the metadata and say we have a data catalog, that just means that, you know, you have like a up-to-date schema. is how I see it. Whereas the way that we see it is data discovery, and the way that we define data discovery is providing a full context of that data so that you can easily find and understand data. And by having the visibility to be able to understand, so by understanding where did the data actually come from, who's using this inside the company, what are the dashboards that are actually built on top of this, how are other people utilizing this data, that really provides different use cases, like that supports the use cases of data governance, because now you know which data needs to be more controlled regarding access. You know that which are the data sets that, or you can mark which data sets as analyst approved or do not use. It also has a use case towards like self-service analytics, because it can provide become a tool where it is like the knowledge base of data. So it's I would say it's not just like one tool that does everything, but the way that we see it is data discovery should be kind of the component that can really support those different use cases.
Great. Well, that feels like a wonderful place to live it. Thank you so much. This was great. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.